Hey, this is the Underground. We're coming at you live. It is 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's brutal.
Early.
That's brutal.
You're probably wondering, why are we awake at this hour? Well, what did we just come from?
Avengers Infinity
Infinity
War.
War.
Oh, we said it all together. Aren't we just so precious?
So
No.
cute.
It's
No.
just,
So,
But it was great.
holy
yes,
cow.
it was amazing.
If you've ever watched any of the Marvel movies, you better watch this one. And
Yeah,
Russo brothers,
don't
good
stop with
job.
Black Panther.
Oh, man.
Amazing. Blows
Storyline incredible.
all your
Yeah.
expectations out of the water.
Yes.
And then some.
Yes.
Forget what you ever thought you knew.
Yeah. Existential crisis.
Excited to see where they're going.
Absolutely. And I think that, honestly, like, the first Avengers, for me, had, like, that shock factor. Like, and then with Age of Ultron, it's just like, okay, more of the same. This one had that shock factor
Yes,
again for me.
absolutely.
Like, it brought me back to,
Absolutely.
like, almost, like, seeing Marvel for the first time again. And that was
By
amazing.
far the best storyline Marvel has
Yeah.
put together.
And
Absolutely.
Without question.
it flowed good. You
Flowed
didn't feel,
incredible.
you didn't feel like you were being jerked around too much or
Right.
any cheesy, corny things. The humor was good. It all just meshed perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah, and one thing that I also was, everything in the story actually was pertinent to the story.
Yeah.
Like from characters being on screen to the storylines that they implemented, like in backstories, story arcs for those specific characters. All of it was pertinent. All of it was important, and the story just meshed. It was
Yes.
so good,
Yep.
so good.
0 to 10, recommend?
For recommend?
Yeah.
Recommend 10. I'm a 10 for recommending going see it.
Mm-hmm.
0 to 10.
Awesomeness scale.
0 to 10, awesome scale?
Out of 6 Infinity Stones, what do you rate it?
Out of 6 Infinity Stones, I gave it a 6.
You get a 6 out
Yeah,
of 6.
because of how it ended, how it progressed.
Yes,
It kind of just took you a different way than you probably ever
Yeah.
thought.
that's right.
I'll go with that.
Yep, 6 out of 6 Infinity Stones.
absolutely.
You heard it here first, folks. Probably, I don't know, maybe, but yes, it was incredible. And from here on out, it's gonna be spoiler town.
So it's that time of the show, folks.
So if you don't want to see it,
Hide your
you
children.
haven't seen the show.
Hide
Put
your
'em to
kids,
bed.
hide your wife.
This is your last
Figure it out.
warning.
Dead meat.
Warning.
Yes.
If you watch.
We're gonna share some spoilers now from the movie, and now, so you don't hate us. We warned you.
Yep. Thanos
It's your
made it.
fault now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Thanos might demand our silence, but you know what? Whatever. So that was a pinky. So all right.
So to start off, if you saw our last video, the greatest joy in my life was somebody dying. Samuel,
What?
how did that work out for you?
You all can just stinking eat your words, because Captain America is not dead.
Not
He
dead.
is so stinking
He
alive.
lives to see another day.
And it shocked me to my
I would agree,
core.
me too.
Like,
Shocked me.
I totally thought, like, all the way up until the very end of the movie, I thought that he was gonna die.
Oh,
but
he caught the right
no.
hook.
That
When he
punch
caught that
with
right
Thanos-
hook, I thought, dead right there.
Yep.
I thought,
Yep.
wow, they just
Yep.
took him out like a beast.
Yeah, me too. I was just like, wow, that is not the death that I was expecting for him. Like, all of a
No.
sudden, he's just on the ground. I'm like, okay.
Felt like he deserved better.
I did, but
Yeah.
then
So,
he didn't die.
first death that we predicted in the last video, everybody kind of picked Loki.
Yep.
Technically,
Technically, we were wrong.
you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
First
That's
death
true.
was Heimdall.
Heimdall.
Yep, Heimdall died first, and
And
that was
then-
actually very, very sad.
Yeah, it actually was a touching scene.
But he
Yes.
he actually played a very important role too
Yep,
He did.
with his dying act.
yep. He
So-
sent Hulk back to Earth,
Yep.
And
After
we're-
he got his butt handed to him by Thanos.
pretty much. Yeah, which then
That
I
came
think
out of nowhere.
that did come out
I
of
forgot
nowhere.
Hulk
It
was
did.
on.
I
I forgot
did
Hulk was
too.
on Asgard. Shit.
I did too. I
Yep.
forgot he was there.
Yeah.
But here was what I thought was cool about that was, and again, in the movie factor of it, Hulk was like pounding Thanos, but the
Yep.
speed of Thanos with his punches to Hulk coming back, he was so quick in the way
Yes.
he dropped him to the ground.
Yeah, it was
He was
like,
like a boxer
Well,
out there.
Hulk
not
had
just
no
like a
idea what he
bruiser.
was doing compared to
Yes.
what
Well,
Thanos was.
and
doing.
Thanos only has one Infinity Stone at that time,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
mind-boggling
Right.
because the trailers tease you 10 different ways.
But he was like a boxer, hitting him in the body. Like his his shots to Hulk were precision,
Yep.
not just like swinging like Hulk does. So
And it was just entertaining to watch, even though our hero was getting getting the snot beat out of him.
It was
incredible.
Really set the tone for Thanos right away.
And it'd be interesting if there's deleted scenes that come out later of what happened on Asgard's ship.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Because it opens up with just Thor laying there and the beatdown and the Black Order and they're talking and Loki's already standing there.
Yep.
And we were right. They did a little trickery. They tried a little trickery.
Yep.
But it didn't work.
No, like
and,
Loki tried killing Thanos right off the bat there.
And then I thought we might witness Thor dying right away, but we knew he had a big role in the movie.
Yeah, we knew
Yep.
Thor was going to die.
We didn't know really how far they were going to push it or what, time stone factor. We don't know when that's going to
Right. Anything could happen, and I'm really glad that the Russo brothers played that up too. That was good. So
Loki's the next one that dies.
Yep. Loki was the second person technically to die,
and he's dead this time.
And he's dead.
Snapped his neck pretty much.
Unfortunately, I had that spoiled to me when uploading a previous video from today.
What got spoiled, huh?
That's what got spoiled for me. So stinking spoilers. I know we're doing it right now, but like that person just had no shame, and
because they didn't tell you.
And if you're watching this before the movie,
I was so
come
bad.
on, go watch the movie.
Yeah, come on.
And then watch this because it's more fun.
And also, you stinking recorded it. I don't think you're listening, but you stinking recorded it in the theater. You illegal piece of junk. Anyway,
pirates.
so
Pirates.
Exactly. But anyway, so that's a little bit blown off the steam.
Thor, if an angel and a pirate had a baby.
Yeah. Drax said that about Thor. That was so
angel pirate baby.
With Thor.
Was that?
Drax was quite enamored with Thor.
Yes, he was. I mean, everybody was. Yeah, it was really funny. And then
I like Rocket's nickname, Rabbit.
Rabbits, yes.
Okay, on track. What shocked you?
What shocked me?
Shocking parts.
For me, shocking part was, this was probably the most out of the blue thing. Red Skull coming back.
Yeah,
that was just like I was not expecting that at all. Yeah. I was hoping that they would bring him back at some point because in order to make his story pertinent, but they brought him back, and also he's supposed to be kind of like the keeper or like the gatekeeper for the Soul Stone.
It was really a good way.
Yes.
And
if you're watching this right now, we are doing spoilers. We are live. We're just gonna give that to you again. So that's another warning halfway through.
Yep. Spoilers
alert. If you're watching live, we're not gonna be offended if you close off because you want to see it later. Okay.
And please do.
Yep.
It's that good.
My thing shocking, and that was, but I kind of heard about that coming up. My big shocking thing was the Soul Stone. Because I totally thought we weren't going to see it at all in this movie.
I did too.
And the fact that it showed up and how it showed up and it was integrated and you saw the
But the other part that we expected, we saw. Thanos got every other stone.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know if they were going to go that route.
Yeah.
Because they have a whole nother movie to do.
Right. That was another shocking thing for me too. He had all 6 of the Soul Stones. Yeah. Spoiler alert again. I mean, we're just gonna say it over and over again. So they had all 6 of the Soul Stones, and then even at that point, when he had all 6 of the Soul Stones, I thought, okay, for sure, like they're gonna somehow like just end the movie where he escapes, and then it's gonna be right before he actually snaps his fingers or something like that.
Yep.
But no, they actually show the fallout. Half of the universe gets wiped out.
Yep.
Spoiler alert again, and it's just like, oh my gosh,
hard to believe.
And then like the whole thing.
And
mission accomplished.
Honestly, that made the movie for me though.
Yes,
because if they would have ended it with them defeating Thanos or stopping it, it just
would have felt like the old the old standby. The old, here it is again. But the heroes win.
Super friends come together.
Yep, but the bad guy won this time.
Yeah,
I love the Stormbreaker.
I'm gonna say this too. There's something endearing about Thanos in the movie. Like you didn't hate his character. Like you could understand where he's coming from.
Yes.
Why he was doing what he was
which
doing.
is interesting. What did they cut out? They didn't want to go into his backstory, but there was quite a bit.
Right.
There was quite a bit on his backstory.
There's probably like a whole maybe like monologue or something like that about like
I'm sure,
about his planet and about me. Also, like he didn't make mention of his personal family.
That's
like
true.
That I think that was also kind of curious to me. Like for him, it was all about his planet. It was all about him and his glorious mission or whatever.
Yeah.
But it never talked about his personal family and losing that. And then actually more like spoiler alert again, more endearing himself to Gamora as like her being his daughter.
So when he killed her, the emotion he had in killing her.
It makes you love him and hate him at the same time.
Well, you felt like he was truly torn.
Yeah.
You know, the character development that they put there, I thought was really well done.
Yes.
Well, I liked how they got the reality stone.
Yep.
Very cool.
Trick you.
Yep.
And use the reality stone's power in that way, and I thought that was good.
Yep.
He already started with the power stone, and then he had the space stone. You know, got that. So, how did he get the power stone?
How did he get the power
stone?
stone?
Show that part.
That would be interesting to know.
Yep.
You know, speculations, but because that was Novacore.
Right. Yeah. So that was a tell not show moment. All the other stones are shown how they're harvested in the movie, but for the power stone, they just briefly talk about how he went off, just completely obliterated the Novacore, and then got the power stone. Which I think that was actually a good move, because that would have just been a bunch of extra battle for no reason.
Yeah.
Now the trailers, they did a good job chopping those up.
They did.
Yeah.
And
if
you've seen the trailers,
they don't tell you much.
No. in the grand scheme of things, like, you think that you know the whole story.
All it did for me is a few of the comedy parts. I was just like, oh yeah.
Well, a lot of the trailers were in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they plowed through them pretty quick.
They did.
So you're gonna see the trailer probably in the first 5-10 minutes, and then.
Here's maybe the other part that was shocking for me was that Doctor Strange is gone.
Yes. So, like, let's talk about our death predictions a little bit. How did we do?
Who died after Loki? Was there any other big characters? I mean, Gamora.
Yep, Gamora died.
We knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, yep. So we talked about that.
No one else till the end, though.
No one else till the end. So, like, as far as like being deaths right away, we got Loki, and that was it. But for oh my gosh! But for when the deaths come at the end, though, it's a catastrophic death toll.
It is. So who did we lose? We lost Scarlet Witch.
We lost the Scarlet Witch.
Vision.
Vision.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Rhodey. We also lost the Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Like I thought he was probably gonna die.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but like I thought he was probably gonna die, but at the same time, I thought, you know, like he's turning into the Golden Boy, especially with like how poignant like his movie was in February during Black History Month, but they still killed him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, that was a shaking one. Star-Lord died.
Spider-Man.
That one shocked me.
One.
You were probably in tears on that one, close to it.
Like close to. I mean,
they pull on your heartstrings.
They
definitely pull on your heartstrings.
I was almost to the point of tears when I thought Captain America was about to die, and then both of you look over at me at the same time. I'm like, shut up, look away, let me have my moment. But he didn't die.
And I think that well done by them, because I think most people expected Cap to go.
Yep, and he didn't.
Well done by them.
And he didn't. Yes. So everybody. Oh my gosh, this looks ridiculous. But
so one of the key points to focus on in the movie, and we're going Tuesday night, is, and you've seen it in the trailer already, when spoilers, by the way, we're talking about spoilers. I see we got a couple people live. Spoilers in this part.
Yes, and hello Pranjal Kumar, it's good seeing you.
Hope you've seen the movie. Maybe he hasn't. He left.
Maybe not.
That's all right, though. We want you to see the movie and then check this out.
Yes.
So
huge spoilers.
When Doctor Strange is sitting there and said, "I looked at every possible way," and he's like, "Did we win?"
Yep.
He how many was it? I mean, he looked at
16,000.
Yeah.
14,605.
That was way off.
Was it in the millions?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I must have heard
14,605. It was a really random.
And
number.
He goes, "Did we win any?"
Yeah.
And he pauses and he's like, "1."
Yeah.
And then what happens after that, if you keep that in mind and think about the depth of that statement,
yep.
And you would have thought of, okay, I have to tell the guys this is the way it is. They're not going to believe me. I have to tell them we have to do it this way. They're not going to believe me. I have to tell them Thanos has to get all the stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can destroy Vision Stone. No, that doesn't work. Well, who are you to say? Just because you saw it, we're supposed to believe you?
Yeah.
You have to just let them experience it.
Yes.
And you know your part. And the key point in this movie, I believe, Doctor Strange knew, I can't let Tony Stark die.
Right.
Yeah.
And with our other one, with the set leak of Avengers, and he's much older.
Well, I'm gonna guess that,
Tony jumped.
Total guess here. I'm gonna guess that Tony invents time travel. or something like that. And
Wow,
I'm gonna
that
guess
is a bold claim.
And I'm gonna guess it's years before he figures it out between this one and the next one in the movie timeline, because he's a lot older.
And if you have to think of motivation, like, okay, Spider-Man, that was pretty hard on him. The kids pull on his heartstring. It got him in that whole, the last movie. But and then now Peter. But the way everybody dies in this movie isn't like you're gonna think. And I mean, we could spoil that too. I don't care. But it has to do with. But I think they haven't revealed everybody that's dead. You saw it in the post-credit scene, a few more, and I think Pepper Potts is dead.
I was thinking the exact same
thing. And it's
thing.
going to fuel him even more with everybody else he cared about.
Yep.
And he knows the realm of possibility of time travel.
And you think about that, the other interesting thing in there is, remember Thanos said to Stark, because he knew him.
Yeah, what did he say?
And he said something like, "You're not the only one cursed with
knowledge or wisdom?
Knowledge or intellect or knowledge," something like that, yeah. That's an interesting part. Plus, again, loose end, Tony talking about Pepper having a baby in the beginning. Just kind of some random odd scenes that I think play into that theory. We know what Stark can do if he's given a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to tell what's at the very end in the post-credit?
Should we keep that? Should we keep that for them?
I mean, it's online, but
oh, that's right. It's
everywhere.
online. I mean,
spoiler alert at the very end. Thanos. We got one guy watching. We're doing spoilers. Love to have you listen in, but if you haven't seen it and don't want to hear a spoiler,
you've been warned. You've been warned.
You've been warned. Spoiler alert: Thanos wins in the end of this movie,
and that is.
That's no lie. That's no joke, and that'll just blow your mind when you see it. You're just like, but it's kind of relieving. It's like,
okay, but break down the post credit.
So then you sit there and you watch, and people leave, and you're like, have you never seen a Marvel movie? Why are you leaving?
Right.
So then they get to the final. You see it all. Great job. Good job. Thank you. Huge production cast, by the way. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Names after names. But you need that for this movie.
And you're in New York. We don't know where.
I would assume.
No, it's New York. Yeah.
They're driving along, and car goes sideways, and they stop, and it's driving the car. You can tell by his voice. It's the man, the myth, the legend. We're doing spoilers. Samuel L. Jackson
as Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
And he's got the other lady from the first Avengers in the passenger seat. I can't remember her name.
Agent something.
Agent something.
So we had, no, that's the guy.
Yeah, Agent Coulson is a guy that.
It's that other female agent. You know her.
Her. So.
And this car that just stops in front of him sideways. They got out. I leaned over to Josh and I was like, it's Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Because we never saw Hawkeye, we never saw Ant-Man. But they're running their own stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they say. So they get out, they walk up, and nobody's in the vehicle. And then all of a sudden a helicopter just crashes. And it's like, and he leans over and he goes, they're dying.
Yep.
And that's what's happened when he snapped his finger. Half of the people. And he promised Doctor Strange, if you give me the Soul Stone. And Thanos actually is a man of his word. It's actually kind of interesting.
Yep.
He may be a tyrant killing everybody, but if he says something, he expects you to keep your word, and he keeps his word.
Yeah.
Because that's why he said no tricks.
Yeah.
Because if he tricks you, he'll just kill you and whatever. But if you're actually keeping your word, he's stuck to it. And
because
so
he thinks he's being led by morality and some form of nobility. It's really it's a very actually interesting plot point.
It's pretty deep, yeah. Yep. So anyways, they get out, everybody's dead. They turn to each other, and she starts to disappear.
Yep.
And die. And then Nick Fury's like, oh crap, grabs something, and he's typing or sending a message, and he starts to disappear, and he says his famous line, and he drops his little pager drops on the ground, and it says sending. Spoiler. And then we see it goes through, and a picture comes up of a symbol, and it is none other than
the Captain Marvel symbol.
Captain Marvel.
And so she never made it into the movie, and so that was the Russo brothers coming full circle on their promise. They said that they had to take Captain Marvel out of this film. They originally had her introduced for Infinity War, but they took her out, and this is kind of like her unofficial introduction into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
By this little pager that
which means she's gonna play a huge part in
Avengers 4 is gonna be huge. It's gonna be fun to see where it goes. It's gonna be
1 year from
even more fun to see the movies in between that
Yep.
they tie into it.
So we got
And
Ant-Man coming out this summer.
yep. And then we are looking forward to hear your thoughts on the movie. We're gonna do another breakdown of the movie as we move forward with stuff too. But we're gonna dive in and dissect it a little more. But we hope you've enjoyed this. Ran a little long, but we went live. See ya.